I wanted to say, you brought up something really interesting regarding creating relationships with media outlets and utilizing digital platforms. How many people in this room have pitched a reporter by Twitter? So this has been an ongoing discussion. Now that Twitter is coming out, there are reporters who kind of feel both ways about it. There's some that prefer not to be pitched, and there are others who've had terrific success pitching by Twitter. So what do you guys think? Have you had an opportunity to do that? Do you think, because there really are two halves to that story. What do you think about pitching reporters by social channels?
I think that I personally haven't actually pitched a reporter via a social channel, but what I've done a lot is gotten to know that reporter and what they cover and what they're interested in through social media channels. So
maybe a better question is, how have you built a relationship with media?
Yeah, so well, one example is I just worked on, Whole Foods Market just opened a store in Playa Vista. Hope you should all check it out. It's an amazing store. And for that store, we did a lot of very local engagement with local food bloggers and local influencers, and so I went on to Instagram, this is very tactical, and just started searching LA foodie, LA eats. I just found all these different influencers on Instagram that are in the food world in Los Angeles, and then I emailed them. And I said, hey, we're having this press breakfast, would you like to come out? And I built relationships through research that I had done through Instagram and just searching, and I've done that a lot with LinkedIn. Almost every journalist is on LinkedIn, and that's a really great way to find people that you're looking for, and you can send them a message through LinkedIn. So maybe not necessarily a story pitch, but this is how it gets started.
We hear, and I know quickly, I shouldn't be doing all the talking. One other quick tip: don't forget to share your coverage out. If a reporter writes about you, the #1 metric that a reporter has in 2015, what they're getting paid upon is inbound traffic. So take every piece of coverage you have. You should be tweeting it out a minimum of 15 different times. Like, you should be taking full-blown action of sharing out these things. Different tweets, obviously, but you should. Maybe you can talk more about that.
Yeah, that's a really, really important. Very important point, and one of the most exciting things about social media for PR people is now we have an opportunity to amplify our coverage that we've worked so hard to get on social channels. And I actually was at an event for Social Media Week a few months back, and there was an LA Times reporter on the panel that was talking about how exactly what you're saying. They need traffic to their stories, and that's how they're valued. So they're looking for us to share that content. So it's really a win-win for everyone. If anytime you get a story written, you share that on all your social platforms, and we try to do that. I mean, my job is trying to help clients understand how they need to do that so that they're getting the most out of the media coverage that they're getting.
By the way, if you're not, they're not going to write about you again. If they wrote a great piece about you and 6 people came in to see it, and they write a piece about your competitor and 600 people come in to see it, guess who they're going to write about again? This is not a joke. This is true. Like, if you want to make sure you never get written about again, don't share your content.
So, I have to just jump into what was just said, is that, if you think about it, as an agency, each of our clients, we're really doing a lot of B2B work, and in that space, there is a list of maybe 8 to 12 core writers who are absolutely critical for every communication that's there. So we build a list of who those core writers are. We track them, we retweet them, we follow them, and I have to tell you, email is, I think the death of email is coming. What do you guys think? Is email dying? How many emails, just from a show of hands, how many people get over 100 emails a day? Everybody. How many people get over 200 emails a day? How many people get over 300 emails a day? How do we manage through that? If you're a reporter, you're inundated with email. So coming back to it, I have pitched on Facebook, I have pitched on Twitter, I have pitched it any way I am shameless to try to get through and say, this is really a good story for you, or something that you should be engaged with, or let's just talk.
Yeah. Love it.
And to add to Bob's point, I I don't think email said yet because, well, for us, it's still the primary way to communicate. But I still do the traditional picking up the phone and calling as well. Can't forget that too, and really building relationships face to face too if they're local. But as far as content sharing, I've talked to many reporters where they've said that there in a lot of media outlets there is a lot of emphasis on digital media, and a lot of food writers and tech writers, they have their own blogs. So like what all these guys were saying, the viewership is really important for them. And I had one tech reporter, because I'm in the tech space, who just cannot sustain his blog because he doesn't get enough click-throughs or views. So really important. I mean, it's part of that relationship building. You help amplify their messages and their stories, and they will in turn write about your companies and your brand.
And here's another quick tip on how to do that. How many of you guys, when you get a story piece of coverage, or you launch your own news, send out an email internally to your coworkers, but also to your friends and family, asking with pre-written messages, asking them to share it out? Okay, that's a huge mistake. Did you know 67% of consumers trust editorial coverage? It's the most trustworthy piece of content a company can generate. When it's shared by a third party, that trust level goes to 84%. One of the fastest ways to get people to see just get the social sharing started is to get somebody to put it out on social. So one of the biggest steps you absolutely should do, we do this internally every single day. I will find content and put it on our intranet and ask people to share it out. Across every single social platform, our engagement numbers have skyrocketed. Our inbound traffic has skyrocketed. All because all I did was write 5 tweets and links and gave it to people to share.
We do the same at Sprint.
Yeah, let's talk. You guys are all doing that here on the panel? Yeah, that's great.
I just wanted to add to that, you know, not just sharing it with your friends, but when you think about bloggers and influencers and even some journalists, a lot of times they're looking for content. So if you make it really easy for them by giving them some pre-written tweets or a pre-written post, there's a good chance that they'll share it for you. So that's a really good tip to keep in mind. It's just
it's free.
It's free. Yeah, it's free. Because you're also helping them by providing them with content that they're looking for.
And if you're a startup, you should be creating a friends and family email list and have these people. They already gave you probably $15 to help you start your company.